Most people wake up in the morning already tired, not because they worked hard yesterday, but because they were busy yesterday. And there is a difference, a big one, a life-changing one. You see, being busy is easy. Anyone can be busy. The world rewards busy. Society applauds busy. People admire the one who is always rushing, always answering messages, always saying, "I don't have time." But productive? That's a different discipline altogether. Productive requires thought. Productive requires direction. Productive requires saying no far more often than yes. I learned this lesson years ago, watching a man I admired from a distance. He arrived early every morning, stayed late every evening, and seemed to be moving constantly. Papers on his desk, phone ringing, meetings stacked back to back. Everyone said, "That man works so hard." But after several years, his life looked exactly the same. Same problems, same income, same stress, same complaints. He had mastered motion, but not progress. And that's when it hit me. Motion and progress are not the same thing. Activity is not achievement. Movement is not meaning. Being busy gives you the illusion of importance. It makes you feel needed. It gives you something to point to when results don't show up. You can always say, "I've been working so hard." But productivity doesn't care about how hard you worked. It only asks one question. What did you create that wasn't there before? What moved forward? What improved? What grew? Busy people fill their days. Productive people build their lives. I once heard someone say they didn't have time to plan. They said planning took too long, so they spend years wandering instead. That's the price of busyness. It keeps you occupied with urgency, so you never stop to ask if what you're doing actually matters. Productivity begins the moment you pause long enough to ask a dangerous question. Is this activity moving me toward the life I want, or just keeping me distracted from it? Busy people react. Productive people decide. Busy people live by their inbox, their notifications, their interruptions. Productive people live by their priorities. One is driven by demand. The other is guided by intention. And intention is powerful because it forces you to think beyond today. It asks you to measure effort against outcome, not emotion. I met a farmer once who taught me more about productivity than any business book ever could. He didn't rush. He didn't panic when others did. He worked certain seasons intensely and other seasons quietly. When I asked him how he stayed calm, he said something I never forgot. He said, "I don't confuse activity with harvest." He understood timing. He understood leverage. He understood that some actions matter more than others, and doing the right thing at the wrong time is just another form of busyness. Busy people plant seeds everywhere and wonder why nothing grows. Productive people prepare the soil, choose the right seed, and plant it when the season is right. There is a hidden danger in being busy. It numbs you. It keeps you from facing deeper questions about your direction, your habits, and your courage. As long as you are busy, you can avoid accountability. You can avoid growth. You can avoid admitting that what you are doing isn't working. Productivity, on the other hand, demands honesty. It demands that you confront results without excuses. I've seen people work 10 hours a day and move backward, and I've seen others work 3 focused hours and change their entire future. The difference was never effort. The difference was clarity. The difference was clarity. The difference was purpose. The difference was choosing actions that compound instead of actions that consume. Busy people trade time for relief. Productive people invest time for return. You see, busyness is often rooted in fear. Fear of slowing down. Fear of missing out. Fear of saying no. Fear of sitting quietly with your thoughts long enough to realize you're not where you want to be. Productivity requires courage because it forces you to choose. And every choice excludes something else. That's uncomfortable for most people. It's easier to stay busy than to be intentional. There was a point in my life when I measured my days by exhaustion. If I was tired at night, I felt successful. But exhaustion is a poor metric for achievement. You can be exhausted and still be stuck. The better question is not how tired am I, but how different is my life because of today. Productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter and more of what does. It's about identifying the small handful of actions that create the majority of your results and guarding them like treasure. Busy people protect their schedule from silence. Productive people protect their schedule from noise. I once challenged myself to track where my time actually went, not where I thought it went, but where it truly went. The results were uncomfortable. Hours lost to low-value tasks, endless checking, unnecessary conversations, and activity that made me feel productive without producing anything. That exercise changed everything. Awareness is the first step out of busyness. When you start valuing results over appearances, your behavior changes. You stop announcing how busy you are. You stop bragging about long hours. You stop confusing struggle with significance. You begin asking better questions. What is the highest use of my time today? What single action would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What am I avoiding by staying busy? Productive people don't try to win every day. They try to win the right days. They understand momentum. They understand that small, consistent progress in the right direction beats frantic effort in the wrong one. They design their days around outcomes, not obligations. There's a moral to this story, and it's a simple one, but it's not easy. Your life does not change because you are busy. It changes because you are productive. It changes when you choose discipline over distraction, clarity over chaos, purpose over pressure. The world doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards value. If you want a different future, don't ask how to do more. Ask how to do what matters. Don't fill your calendar. Fill your life with progress. Don't confuse motion with meaning. Don't let busyness become the mask that hides your potential. Because at the end of your life, no one will ask how many emails you answered, how many hours you stayed late, or how busy you were. The only question that will matter is this: did your actions move you closer to the person you were capable of becoming? And that is the difference between being busy and being productive.